Mr. Pokemon, I have the starters drawn up ready for you to see. I like the pig. Oh yes, Tepig. Well, it's a fire pig. Water. Sorry? I want water pig. Oh, well that won't quite work. I want water pig. Okay, listen, this is most likely something that has been done to death in the fakemon world. In fact, all it takes is one quick search to know for sure that this is not an original idea. Big shout out to Pragmagic and all of the incredible artists that they work with. I'm pretty sure they've type swapped almost every single starter Pokemon. I'll link their channel down below so you can go check it out. But anyways, today, I really want to do the same thing. But instead of just choosing any old type triangle, I just want to swap the classic grass, fire, and water. I've chosen the Unova starters because we just haven't given Unova much love this year, or on this channel, or in my entire life. So let's do it. Of course, we kick things off with the one and only Snivy, the green worm Pokemon, I think. So Snivy is going to be a fire type. I think its creature type being this sneaky reptile thing really lends itself to the fire type, and honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't a fire type. But I guess Trico exists. Well, maybe Trico's an amphibian, right? Not a reptile. I don't know. They're sort of similar creatures, so, you know, here we are. Now, for the design, of course, there will be some alterations, but for the most part, they're going to be largely untouched. A tree unshaken, if you will. That's not a real saying, by the way. I totally just made that up. Snivy normally has this big-ass leaf tail, which makes sense. I'm pretty sure it can make like a move called Leaf Tornado or something. I like it, but it doesn't exactly scream fuego, fire, caliente, if you know what I mean. So I pulled a Charmander and gave it a flaming tail. Just be sure not to extinguish it though, because, well, you know. There are also these like collar things that are attached to Snivy's shoulders. Normally they just run straight and curl over, but my Snivy is a kick-ass fire type, so I'm gonna give it the District 12 at the Tribute Parade treatment. The colors for this Snivy are pretty standard for a fire type starter. You know, it's red. At first I just used the exact color of Tepig because during this stage I was thinking I would just give the starters each other's colors. The unfortunate thing is that, well, it looks terrible. I don't like it in the least. Thankfully, there is an easy fix. Just change it to a different red. See, it wasn't the red that was the issue. It was just the shade of red that I used. It caused the whole design to completely derail and lack contrast. But now it is a lot more vibrant, a lot more Pokemon, if you will. As for eye color, it's just the exact same as the OG. Didn't really need to change it. Tepig is next up, and as the intro suggested, we're making Water Pig. It's finally happening. This little piggy is sitting down. It's surprisingly hard to make a pig a water type because that's not really something you see in nature, TBH. So instead of basing it on something realistic, I decided to do something similar to the starters from Generation 6 and beyond, where I would sort of give it an archetype, like a character of sorts. So for Tepig, it's going to be a swimmer, because I just think that's cute and just utterly ridiculous. And that's just the spirit of Pokemon, let's be honest here. I've given it a fin on its leg and honestly, not vibing. I'm pretty sure I'll take this out when I work on the polish drawings because it just doesn't look right. I mean, on Mudkip, fins look cute, but not Tepig. Sorry, pig. It feels wrong to call it that, even though it's literally a pig. The tail is the part that I was a little more excited for. Normally it has a twirly tail like a pig normally does, but for this one I wanted to give it a propeller, like one you would see on a boat. In classically styled cartooning, propeller motion is often drawn to express the act of swimming. So imagine if we took this literally. I could definitely see Tepig just paddling around underwater with its tail going off like a little turbine. Ah, how cute. The rest of the design is, again, largely unchanged. I just feel like changing too much would make them look just not right, you know? Necessary changes only. The colors are sort of Oshawott core, but a bit more blue, weirdly enough considering Oshawott's the water starter. Tepig has these accents on its body, and so I use these to highlight the swimming part of Tepig's design. It has a swimmer's cap and a pair of trunks, all ready for the beach. And now it is time for Oshawott. Oshawott, my little otter friend. I really like Oshawott, and it's normally my pick whenever I have the pleasure of starting a Gen 5 game. So, you know, all of 2 times. I still haven't finished a Unova game. I truly am one of the Pokemon gamers of all time. My first Oshawott sketch was a complete disaster. I think I kind of just went a little too ambitious with my soon-to-be grass-type Oshawott. I was trying to make it a little more than what it simply is. I almost over-designed it. This is what happens when I don't stay true to the original design. Necessary changes only. Otters can exist on land, although in media, especially cartoon media, they are more often than not depicted as solely aquatic creatures. Maybe because sea otters are a thing, and that is what Oshawott is, and all these other otters that I'm talking about. But they are just mammals in real life. They don't breathe or live underwater permanently. They need sweet, sweet, fresh oxygen, just like us. Well, fish also have oxygen, but through water. They need air. They need Earth's air. So I dialed back on my previous attempt and drew something more classic looking. Original Oshawott has fin-like appendages, but I made my Oshawott clawed because this guy just takes little dips in the river. It's not shell-bearing. It needs to be able to traverse the forest. Speaking of shells, I got rid of its shell. So sorry. Instead, it has a leaf-shaped thing, as it were. I want to say it's a pine cone, but it really doesn't look like one. Perhaps we could just pretend it is some kind of oversimplified pine cone. Maybe it's just a translation error, like jelly-filled donuts. If 4 kids can get away with it, so can I. The face is quintessential Oshawott. Oh my god, those cute little eyes. I also noticed that land otters, or you know, not specifically sea or river otters, they have sort of large fangs on their lower jaw, so I thought, why not do the same here? It's not unlike first stage Pokemon to have fangs, it's just that they normally have smaller, rounder fangs, so I know I drew them large and pointy here, but I'll fix that in the polish. The colors were initially Snivy colors, but after I had them all blocked in, I wasn't vibing with it, so I went in and made its skin a lot more pale and took out the yellow because it was distracting and it made the whole design look pretty clumsy. But with all of that fixed up, all I have left to do are the polish drawings, at long last. You haven't actually watched me do a polish in one of these videos for a really long time because I actually just stopped recording myself doing the polishing, mostly because it took up like 20 seconds of the video and I was like, why am I saving these like hours long recordings? But this time I have a handy tip to share, so I thought I would just record the polish work while I talk about that. These were pretty easy to complete overall. I used the original Generation 5 artwork as a reference for these drawings. They were especially helpful when I was looking for the right line art thickness. Whenever I need to reference that, a handy tip I learned is to take an official art of a Pokemon that is similarly sized to your fakemon. For me, it was super easy because these are all pretty much the same size as their Unovan counterparts, and then I scale it proportionally to the sized canvas that I'm working with. In this case, I took Snivy's artwork and made it 3000 by 3000. Then you just need to reduce the opacity of the artwork and trace the line art in a new layer. This way you can adjust the line art as you're tracing so that you can get it to just the right size, which you can then use for your own Fakemon art. So that is how I got the line art thickness to be just right for my drawings. Anyways, with all that said and done, it's time to look at the Fakemon. First up, it is Snivy, the snake Pokemon, and a fire type, oddly enough. There isn't much else to report on this other than the fact I changed up its design so it was more in tune with something along the lines of a salamander or a skink, rather than an actual snake. Or maybe it can still be a snake and we'll finally get the snake fire starter we oh so desire. Next we have Tepig, the water pig Pokemon, and a water type. This Tepig is based on a swimmer with its bathing suit and swimming cap. It also sports a propeller-like tail that helps it move around underwater. And finally, it is our favorite otter, Oshawott, the land otter Pokemon, and a grass type. It collects forest debris on its fur and uses it to land hard-hitting grass type attacks. So those are my takes on type-swapped universe starters. This could be a series, so let me know if you want to see more with the other starters. We'll do them all in a random order so you'll never predict what's next. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I upload new videos every single Fakemon Friday or Saturday if you live on Mirage Island just like me, or Sunday if I'm late, like this week. Sorry. Okay, I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Also, Rhythm Heaven Groove?